Hey guys, this is Rob with the Oil Trading Room and Indicator Smart for a daily oil trading room recap for the week ending May 17th. This week, I would like to cover something we had done a few weeks back and show you the results that have been attained with that and some different ways that you can benefit. Yeah. First off, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There's a risk of loss trading futures. If you need to, pause this disclaimer and read it over. And lots of reasons for that beyond just the kind of legalese language. I've never seen a trader, I've trained tons of traders, I've never seen a trader be successful who was trading with money that they needed for other things. Yeah, so be smart with that. I want to cover, again this week, the Linebreak System. We did a webinar on May 1st with Shark Indicators. It's on the webinar page at theoiltradingroom.com and at Indicator Smart. Yeah. And it's called A Guide to Increase Theoretical Win Percentages. And in that webinar, we created a system. And this particular system is not necessarily anything other than what we've been doing for a long time. It's really just the tip of an iceberg in a proof of concept that works and that we use in our trading room and with the systems all the time. So I want to cover what happened since I created this system. Well, actually there's not really a creation date, but we've been using it officially in the room where I put it on the chart there for about a month. And so we'll go take a look at that, and then also what happened in this last week. And last week, if you watched the video there, we had 100% winners. And this week, we actually had one loser. Yeah. During the webinar, when we did that, we had an 88% win rate, and you're going to see that it's actually done a bit better than that since. Yeah. And we go over that in a minute or so. Yeah. So let me pull that up for you. Here is the chart for the 10 brick. Now, I've told you before and told you in the webinar, and I'll tell you again, this kind of a system, you can trade it. We have plenty of room members that are actually just trading this and benefiting from it. Yeah. And but there are other ways that you can use this kind of information in your trading to know, and particularly this kind of a system tends to catch movements in the counter trend. Yeah. So what we're doing here is we're using a counter trend oriented method to help us take trend trades. Sometimes I'll call them miracle trades because when these things line up, it happened at least twice today in our trading room while I was lecturing. Two occurrences of what I sometimes have referred to as a miracle trade. Yeah. Why? Because when these things line up, the probabilities stack up into the 90s and higher. Yeah. We had one today that was 99% to go 10 ticks. Yeah. So, but I had marked these for you in advance so we don't sit here during the video doing this. But this week, let me check what day was Monday. The 13th, that's right. I remember that. 13th. That's right here. Now I only mark these during the day session. And I discussed during the webinar why we do that. You will see that it still works in the after hours. But a system like this, since it's based purely on order flow, is a little more likely to have false signaling right around the open of a session, the beginning of Globex, or around midnight when our room time, when the European session comes on board, and at the end of the pit session day, New York pit session day. But you'll notice, I just told you a few minutes ago, that this kind of a system will tend to find trades in the counter trend. Monday was a strong trend day going down, and so you don't have a lot of these kinds of signals here. Yeah. You'll notice that this is K period at the end of the day. You'll notice I don't mark that as a trade because we don't do that right at or about that session change. So there actually were zero, there weren't any signals on Monday. Yeah. On Tuesday had a signal here, and then as I said, this is just the tip of an iceberg. There are many other kinds of things that we know just from this chart alone that are up in the high 80s, like 87.5%. We covered that this week in a room. So Tuesday had one trade there. Wednesday had a couple of these guys here. Thursday had 3 trades. We actually had a loser this week. Yeah, we had a loser Thursday morning. I remember that. And then a couple today. Yeah. So if I pull up my trade markers report, trade markers is a system that we use for testing this kind of a system. And it works very powerfully to give us complete statistics. Yeah. I'm going to take a look at that report. And since I tested this back into April 12th, was about the time we put this officially on our chart in the trading room. And you can see since that time, 93% winners. Yeah. Well, if I go into my trade markers report here and kind of detail things out, you can see just lots and lots of 100% days. How's it done since the webinar? The webinar was on May 1st, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. We had a loser on Thursday, as mentioned, and then today we had a couple of trades, 100% again. Yeah. And members in the room are benefiting from this, and in a variety of ways, as I discussed and as we teach in the trading room. Yeah. So this trade markers report. There's lots of other details within trade markers that we use. Trade markers is a program that is currently available to room members and that we use for doing execution level testing. But it's, as I'd mentioned in the webinar, and there's a link to the webinar here. Just go to oiltradingroom.com and go to the webinar page, and it's up towards the top of the page there. Yeah, you can learn more details about this this kind of a system and the benefits associated with it. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's take a look at what else I got here for you. If you have any questions or you'd like to learn more about how we do this kind of thing each day live, there's a big difference between doing it live and having it as a back test. I'd also mentioned during the webinar, there's a huge difference between back testing and doing what we're doing here. This isn't back testing. This is more like forward testing, yeah, because we already know the pattern and we already know the reliability of it. And so it's not like we went into some data and tried to find a pattern and then posted the results of it and said, hey, look at this. This is a system, when you develop a system and it has better performance than when you even tested it in the first time, as has been the case with this. For example, it was 88% during the webinar, and it's way higher than that since. Yeah. So, but if you have any questions about this, if you watch the webinar, there's a page in there towards the end of the webinar that'll give you resources for how to learn more about this kind of thing and resources for advancing the trading. And like I said during the webinar, you'll learn more about how to do this kind of stuff. Yeah. So you can do that, and you can get this recap, oiltradingroom.com. And if you want to learn about the tools and the resources, go to indicatorsmart.com. Yeah, do it. All right. Have a super weekend, guys. Thanks for taking the time to join me on this video. We look forward to seeing you in the trading room and getting your resources to change the way you're trading in a way that's super good for you. Yeah. Thanks for letting me share. Have a great weekend.